Real Life Call-Outs, hosted by Savant and Goodbarz. Hope everyone's having a great night. We're tuned in today. We're going to introduce ourselves. How you doing, Brody?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. We actually got the backdrop up, so that usually when that's completed, then I'm happy.
I'm glad we up in here. I'm going to cut the volume up a little tad bit on our mics. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are tuned in a good spot. We're going to talk some Halo. We're going to talk some Halo, some ICG. What else we going to talk about, bro?
We need to talk about that Roland shirt you got on.
Oh, this Roland shirt? Yo, shout out to Roland, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's just crazy.
You know what I mean? They got the boy looking fly up over here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm Michael Jackson with the zippers on. You know what I mean? It's different over here. You know what I mean? We got the plasma grenade. We got the frag ready just in case. And anybody try to sneak up on us, we got the radar right here. It's so weird being right there. It's right there right now. So the radar's right here, bro. So we are Immaculate Connection Gaming. I am ICG Goodbarz. This is William Savant, a.k.a. Sepsis Band in the building if you guys know our gamer tags. And we're here to bring you the news, the needs, the things that is going on with Halo, the things that are going on with Xbox, the things that are going on with ICG. Shout out to all our ICG family, the whole swarm. And we are here. So, bro, you have anything you want to add?
I do. This is different than other podcasts. So there's a lot of podcasts out there that cover video games. Most of them are super nerdy, privileged, particular folks. There's a reason. This is called Real Life Call-Outs because we're calling them out.
Calling them all out. All of them.
The reason why we got a little story about us, a little backstory, we watch a ton of Halo lore and Halo vlogs. I've read a bunch of graphic novels, a handful of the actual novels, especially any by Eric Nyland, who is my favorite. We even got Mr. Steve Downs to come and do some voiceovers for our gaming community.
Love Steve Downs. Love him. Great guy.
I'm sure if you've seen Mr. Goodbarz in his game streaming, you already know that Master Chief is down with ICG. So, but in our research, and because we care so much about the community, and we're always delivering news to the community, we wanted something a little bit more, a little more human friendly, than getting onto the game and. Playing the game and talking about Halo news. We wanted something that was more clear and direct and not delivered by a bunch of privileged brown nosers looking to get highlighted by Microsoft and 343. This is gloves off entertainment. This is gloves off feedback. This is gloves off commentary. And you can only get that from us. So what's going to make this program truly unique and set aside from all the other vloggers that cover Halo are some of the obvious things, and the fact that it's us doing it, so we're not gonna brown nose. We're not gonna be looking for handouts. We're not gonna be looking for clout. We're gonna say what we mean. It's gonna be authentic, and we're gonna be speaking, of course, for a different kind of Halo fan.
Yes.
I think some of those other vloggers and people covering Halo news, I think that they're, I think they do a good job in covering a certain kind of Halo fan. But we feel that there's another version of Halo fan out there.
Yes.
And we feel that, we're unique in the sense that we could fill the spot and dedicate ourselves to that authentic demographic.
So speaking of all Halo, we got a lot of news that's happening. The beginning of it all was the.
Should we get the update?
The update.
A lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. The newest addition to Halo, the Halo series, is Halo Infinite, and unfortunately, these guys had to stop everything and the progression thereof of the new Halo because of everything that was going on with the pandemic, and we kept getting some news here, some content here, some news here, a book there, some reveals. Mega Bloks messed up. We all know what Mega Bloks did. We're mad at them. I'm not mad.
Hold on.
Mad at them.
I was gonna say I'm not mad at anybody. You know who I'm mad at?
Who?
All the little fucking spoiled brats that didn't like the reveal. That's what I'm mad about. And I'm going to tell you why.
I liked it.
Here's
I
the
thought it
thing.
was great. I thought it was great.
If you go and search Halo Infinite and the material and in the gameplay and in the feedback concerning, it's vastly negative.
Yes, very, very, very negative for
It's
no
vastly
reason.
negative.
Like it's like negative reasons for no reason. Like completely no reason.
Now, I'm an old dog. I was here when video games were invented. And I'm telling you right now that I ain't never played a perfect video game in my God-given life.
Mm-hmm.
I never dated a perfect woman, and I never had a perfect plate. Now, I understand what it's like to strive for perfection. I think that's a goal all of us should have. I think that's something we should all have in common, is to improve and to evolutionize and to get bigger and faster and better and optimize the technology. But ultimately here, I'm going to be honest with you. When they were doing the reveal this summer, I have a different experience than all these whiny brats. Now, don't get me wrong. Was I caught up in the nostalgia?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on now. I was definitely caught up in the nostalgia. I was definitely caught up in the mix, in the magic of there being a brand new Halo video game.
Mm-hmm.
I was caught up and I was mesmerized and seduced by the anticipation.
He said he was seduced.
Because ultimately it has been half a decade since we've seen these guys release some music. And the band played on, ladies and gentlemen. It played right on into the afternoon.
It did.
There we were, the four of us, sitting here, awaiting the arrival of the next gen installment of Halo. And I got to tell you, I was on the edge of my seat. So
look at the anguish.
When I something to confront. There's two sides of the coin, and there's the truth, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Always.
When Chief got out of the Pelican, the surge of excitement. I mean, I was already playing the game, Bars. I mean, I was too hung up in, did I see any Spartan abilities? Did I observe anything that was going to give me any information about the individual things that I wanted to see in the game? And I want to highlight that. Because I think what the spoiled brats at home haven't realized is that they've internalized this entire presentation into the things that they were hoping and seeing. So when all you people out there are spreading your vast, sense of negative aspects about what they experienced during the trailer, I always find it self-centered. Because I myself, on the other side of the spectrum, was caught up in my own love affair. I was caught up in my own dreamscape world and what I wanted to experience and expect out of the game. So for some people, it was graphics. For some people, it was, the way, light behaved. And for, then other people, I know they broke it down into microscopic tiny bits. It was awful. But we can do this with any video game.
Any video game.
I could sit in front of any meal, and I could sit down in front of any man or woman and find things to tear apart. And unfortunately, especially in today's point-and-click society, the negative stuff always sells. So when we search Halo stuff and we search the excitement around Halo, it always appears to be this thing that nobody wants to have happen.
That's the first plasma grenade thrown.
So I want to make it perfectly clear. I want to make it perfectly clear that I think we were all watching that day. If I had to sort this out and make sense of all the internet chatter, if I had to untangle the Chinese jump rope, I would say that I think, and this is fair to all of you, that we were all kind of sitting in our own individual seats that day and kind of had our own checklist of things that we were hoping for and that we expected.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a gimme, now, spoiled brat society that I think on day one, not everybody got to check off as many boxes as they'd like to.
Yes.
I also understood, with a grain of salt, that this was just a formal presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, as it was said prior to the program, that this was not the final installment. This was not the final look. I had that completely, under my comprehension prior to the airing of the trailer.
I thought it was great, bro. I seriously thought it was great.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great.
I tell you what I thought it wasn't. After the high, after the adrenaline, after the excitement, I watched it again, and I will say that one thing it wasn't was next gen. All right? And I'm thinking to myself, because we're buyers and sellers, we understand the marketing process, and there's a ton of promo on this video game already out, so you know they have to release it. You got a handful of people saying, take the year. I'm one of those people.
Take
the year. 343.
It's a lot that goes in game coding, man.
And fine-tune this fucking beast. But then there's the business side of me that says, holy shit, we got a ton of promo out on this. We got to release the record. We got to release the music. We got to release the poster. We got to release the movie. There's a ton of program on it. And while the promo is out, they need to make that work, because ultimately making Halo a great video game is a game that's heavily populated for the people that love it.
Yes.
So without them participating and kind of rowing in the same direction with the promo, they're not going to be able to optimize the traffic that's needed for you to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I agree.
If they blow everybody's load on Monster Energy drinks and microtransactions through Chips Ahoy, what do they got? Chips Ahoy. They got Chips Ahoy, Monster, a whole bunch of other guys.
I think Domino's, a couple of other jumps.
Absolutely. I never thought in a million years I'd seen an African American change into Chief, and they got a video.
It was Taco Bell. Yeah, that's right.
It's a Taco Bell commercial, and a young gentleman is, strapped to a chair or something. And this sounds crazy. It sounds like my life. And strapped to a chair, and then all of a sudden, he's consumed by the likeness of Chief himself, and then he gets all his Spartan abilities, and apparently has a taco or two. I'm not sure. The moral of the story is, let's not try to be so self-centered in looking at first presentations or first looks or reveals. I think there's a content drought.
Yes.
Those guys over at Halo Fan and Halo Lore and all always complaining about the content drought. I definitely hear that. I think you're going to see a lot more now that they've planned to make steps to multiplayer reveals.
Yes.
I do. Whereas multiplayer, it has been confirmed that multiplayer is going to be free online to play. They're going, and that's why I think you see the promo now.
Yes, you do.
I think you're going to see the promo now because from what I understand, and it's pretty much been confirmed, that multiplayer will be out before the campaign. And this is why you're seeing a lot of the promo. People are always wondering why all of this stuff had come out beforehand if they were so behind. And I think the answer to that is I think you're going to see a lot happening with the multiplayer universe. And I think it will be vast.
Constant updates, constant things going on.
With the big customizations coming along, and the big, heavily populated open world environments. I think you're gonna have to get started early on some pretty heavy promo if you're gonna launch multiplayer first. Because naturally, the campaign will resonate with tried and true Halo lore loving people like ourselves.
Always. That's going to be the selling point. That's the selling point to buy the campaign as a whole. And I think that's what they're doing. They're just going to split it, give the free multiplayer. They were talking about a battle royale, quote unquote battle royale being installed. I think one of the head managers at 343 debunked this on Twitter not too long ago. But they say the reason why they're going to get the multiplayer for free is to compete with these battle royales that we are all seeing, from Fortnite to Call of Duty to the Magic one that came out. So I know for a fact that it takes a long time for gaming coders to do what they have to do. It takes a lot. To code a game, it takes a grip. And I respect those guys at 343 taking their time, taking the ability, going back to the drawing board, going back to the blueprint, seeing what's going on, what we need to do, and listening to them. They're trying to get the best product for us that they ever had. And I think the open world aspect of the game is going to be a little bit more of a higher job for them, because they never really dealt with open world things like that. And when I saw the gameplay reveal, bro, I loved it. Every piece of it, I loved it. Every piece of it, I loved it. The grappling hook to the attacks, the way they move, even Craig's face. I didn't care that Craig's face was like that.
Well, from what I understand, 343 is embracing Craig.
Yeah. They. I
think you'd have to.
Yeah, you have
because
to after that.
He got so much love. It would be only wise, 343, if you're listening to me, which you're probably not.
Never know.
But if you are or ever do, please embrace Craig. Because
Craig is like the first next black dude next to Sergeant Johnson.
Man, I was gonna say Craig is like the poster child
for Infinite.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he's like special needs or something. You know what I mean? He's awfully cute, but he's not quite all there.
Yeah, he's not.
Craig's not ready for the fight.
Yeah, he's not.
Craig looks like he's ready
to sit down and eat something.
Ready to play badminton and go bobbing for apples or something. Craig looks like a nice guy, and I think that we need more. He's bigger than a meme.
Yes, he is. He is bigger than a meme. Now he is.
He's got a Facebook page.
He's becoming an online viral sensation at this moment in time, thanks to a lot of the haters on Halo, the Halo people that were coming at him and attacking the game itself. To Halo fan and all these guys that do these things and dig up this news and stuff like that. Take it with a light heart. I feel like the strong opinions that these guys admit is really crazy, and it's going to the fact that the fans influence this game. We influence the content that come back to us, so we have to remember that. So, to say it was a bad reveal, I'm gonna have to disagree. I've seen a lot of reviews. People were talking about the gameplay reviews. It was horrible. I thought it was clean. I thought it was great. Maybe fist some lighting here and there, add some more grit, but I thought it was great.
I have seen generationally something powerful with every release.
Yes, me too.
And you get these hardcore, as we all are, we get these hardcore Halo fans that double down on their favorite particular titles. You know what I mean? And I think 343 Microsoft do a good job at making that available and optimizing that and still keeping that a playable, populated place to be.
Yes, they do a great job.
But the one thing I wish Halo fans would be a little more sensitive to, and I know none of you ever will. But it's like if you found that, so but the argument is always like, well, we didn't have. See, we didn't have power ups. I mean, we didn't have armor abilities. You know, in old Halo, we didn't have sprint. We didn't have why does and they always want to say, well, let's go back to the way that it used to be. Nothing in this world, nothing. Your life at home, your job, everything is a constant expansion. You know what I mean? We cook food differently. We play video games differently. Some of us date differently. The list goes on. even the English language gets updated
Mm-hmm.
every now and then. So think of it, if anybody can understand this, it would be gamers. Your life, the things in it,
Mm-hmm.
the hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
your relationships. Every now and then, there's updates in the system. There's
Mm-hmm.
patches.
Mm-hmm. Yes, always.
You know what I mean? And sometimes these patches can heighten the quality
Mm-hmm.
of experience, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's not so great news, and you got to go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
That's with all things.
Yep,
I was talking
always.
about that in the beginning when I talked about the perfect video game. I don't think we've ever saw that.
No.
We ever saw the perfect basketball player. We're always updating. We're always trying to get better. And you always see the argument with Halo players, or, I wish it was back in the days like Halo 1 or Halo 2 or ODST and Reach, or
Mm-hmm.
and the list goes on. And for every game that, that succeeds another, you'll have a group of people that says, I wish it would go back to the game before that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But 343's never gotten rid of these games.
Yeah.
So when people are like, I love Halo 1, we'll go fucking play it.
what Bungie? Yeah, they all the Bungie heads. That's what I call these guys, the Bungie heads.
But these games are still, what I'm saying, congratulations for Microsoft and 343 for still making that available. So I don't know where the desire to make a brand new game
like the old one.
like the old one when the old one is available
Yeah.
has always puzzled me.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about Halo like there hasn't been changes in each game since its conception.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this for a second. In Halo 1, you had they had med packs, didn't they?
Yeah, they have
Fucking med packs.
Yeah.
Same with a couple of Halo Reach had med packs.
Yeah, Halo Reach got med
I know, and you know what I mean? And the weapons were different. And when you got to Halo 2, you could dual wield.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say that's a Spartan ability.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, regardless of what kind of title you want to, that's a new ability that Master Chief couldn't do in the previous game. On top of that, you could access invisibility and a number of other handful of gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are power-ups. Those are abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them maybe on the power-up side, but dual wielding, invisibility, that's an ability.
That's an ability. That's
a Spartan ability. So the people are like, I don't like Spartan abilities. Well, there's always been Spartan abilities.
Since the beginning.
Call them what you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Dual wielding is an ability that you didn't have in the previous game. And the list goes on. And once you get to Halo 3, you kind of see that same thing happening, but even the gadgets change and new power-ups came and other ones, and the vehicles were different. And the operation of the vehicles and what they had to do was different, and et cetera, et cetera. And some of the weapons and overall gameplay. And then into one of my favorite games, when Halo Reach came out, it just completely changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I always loved Halo before that, but that was when I was like, yo, I'm here to stay.
Yeah. Facts. Reach is a great game.
Once I realized that you could put a jetpack on, you know what I mean, and throw grenades down at people, and you could, and the game moved at a nice modern, they put sprint in there as an ability, and it made the game move in a new way.
Yes.
And I felt like it was different, but it was necessary because we're so used to moving around other video games plus your guy, this guy's a super warrior. He shouldn't have fall damage.
No,
so the
shouldn't.
fact why they got rid of that makes a lot of sense to me. He's a super warrior. He should be able to run.
Yeah, facts.
It's not,
exactly.
crawling, crippled through a map that you don't feel like a hero. So I resonated with that. I know a lot of people didn't like, armor lock, or what was the other one they had?
Armor lock, active camo, sprint.
The jetpack.
And the jetpack.
Oh, okay. And then in 4 you had Promethean Vision. And you had the holograms. If people didn't like that. Once again,
holograms are in Reach too.
I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset to see those things going in. For some of you, some of this is in the lore.
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of people that don't know, humans had access to some of this technology throughout the books. So this isn't like a wild punch.
No.
This isn't a crazy idea.
No, not at all.
like most things in life, in order for them to remain interesting, they got to be represented you in certain ways that's like going to be new and add variety. And as the story goes along, as the technology builds, they're challenged with figuring out ways to do that where we're still going to accept it as integral lore. And I get that part. I think the ordnance drops were a little
forceful.
Much.
A little forceful there. That was intense. That was a little bit different. The ordnance drops were great, but I like the fact that I like how they have it in 5, where you know where this weapon is. You go get this weapon. You can use this weapon. You fight for this weapon. You use it to. It's like control points. You have different control points on the map where you can go to. You can attack.
I'd say that's what makes Halo unique to most of the modern video games today, shooters, is that there are no like random actions in the game.
No,
you learn the game, you get good at the game, and then you have a certain responsibility to keep up with that
competitively.
Competitively, you get a gun, I get a gun thing.
Yeah. We ain't got no special bullets or anything like
each
that.
Each Halo game has been diverse in its own way, and and likewise, it's been similar in other ways. But I with each game, to me, it's always felt like Halo. And when I saw the trailer, I felt the same way. I wasn't grossed out by the graphics.
No, not at all.
Because it looked like a new Halo game.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, wow, new Halo. So forgive me. I thought it was great because naturally I have the tunnel vision and love the game so much that once again I was an instant fan. So cheers to everybody out there, because I feel like we can compromise.
Yes.
And I guess we're all spoiled brats in some regards, because I feel like when we watched the trailer, we were always kind of sitting from a self-centered point of view, hoping to see the things we as individuals were hoping to see in the trailer.
Yes. I just didn't like the lot because they did it live. They did it on YouTube.
Good news, it's only going to get better.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better. Now it is. They basically did the same thing to Halo that they did to Sonic. You know what I mean? Like they did the same exact thing. You attack the guys. Again, this is a hard job, guys. I ventured myself into this multimedia facet, and it's a really hard job. You know what I mean?
Think if our record label would have told us, "Hey, look, looks pretty cool, but you guys are gonna need to go record the entire thing all over." I mean, it would be hard.
Whew.
It would be hard.
It would be hard, man.
If the fans said that, it would be. Ooh.
Yeah, that hurt your chest. It hurt your chest, and
it's almost impossible for it not to.
And like these guys, these developers, these video game creators, now have to work from their homes, have to take care of their families. They don't have time to go into their own offices. So please give these guys a break. Stop attacking these managers, these guys at 343, the staffs. Please stop doing that. Stop attacking these guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, these guys want a great video game.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
They're the ones creating it. They love Halo as much as we do.
You'll hear some of the fans and you'll be like, "You guys just want this game to fail." No, definitely not. They definitely want it to be successful more than you do.
Yeah, way more. They got invested into this game. They wanted to create it, and it's really like off-putting to see. On the live on YouTube that they had to reveal all these PS5 players.
I haven't seen. Well, you're gonna get that from the PS5 players. They're all pussies. So mostly, when I think about I said it. When I think about the way.
Sending shots, he threw a grenade at y'all. That should be gone. That grenade right there should be gone right there. That one right there, that one should be gone.
I've been known to collect.
He saw y'all on the radar real quick. He ninja jaw.
When I think about the time and energy and resource effectiveness that goes into organizing people to create something like this with all the tentacles and branches and all the fractal. It's not just like you have coders. It's not just like you have a team of PR guys. It's not like you just have You have orchestras. You have sound effects people. The lighting team must be crazy. So I think it's only good news for us that we continue on these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they're a good enough company to listen to your feedback.
Yes, they are.
And make changes. There's a lot of companies that wouldn't do that, which makes 343 amazing. And it ensures us that whatever's going to happen, they're going to do the best they can and use this time wisely to make us an even better game than we saw during the reveal.
Yes, agreed.
And keep in mind that all Halo games are different. They have been in tradition.
Mm-hmm. All the way through.
So every time you get to a new Halo game, everybody goes, oh my God, I wish it was like a previously released game. Nope. Staying true to Halo tradition, there's always going to be, new technology in the game. There's always going to be new multiplayer playlists. There are always going to be things that game developers experiment with because, like the gaming world, people change. Your appetite changes. The way society moves and the way we buy and sell and communicate changes over time. So games naturally have to change like that. You guys remember when we listened to music on little square cassettes? Some of you remember when they were on big dish-shaped vinyl, and most of you remember when it was on CDs. And now that's a different thing, right? Same thing with video games. You're going to see video games evolve into more elaborate forms of VR. You're going to see more elaborate forms of interactive, proportions. So just keep this in mind that, Pac-Man is a great game, and it's always going to be a great game. We don't have to give Pac-Man a blowtorch and a jetpack and put him in a battle royale. Pac-Man's always been a good game.
Yo, Pac-Man battle royale sounds kind of tough.
Tetris has always been a good game. It's tried and true.
Tetris is hard.
And it still is.
It still is. I still play Tetris.
Mr. Goodbarz is a huge Nintendo fan. Loves Mario. Loves Nintendo products and characters. And still great games. If anyone has proved to you that great story writing and great games and great characters are timeless, just like music. And Halo is a timeless classic that will go way beyond my great-grandkids. I could promise you that. But that's all I have to say about the release and the general update. I think that in the weeks ahead, it's 10/26/2020 now. I think in weeks ahead, I think you're going to see an end to the content drought.
Well, speaking of keeping things in tradition, they allegedly broke a tradition by doing a change to the color spectrum. Now, in all Halos, we all know that you have this new language or this language that Halo colors represent. They're changing that. That's all changing. And bro doesn't like that.
See? Now think of how many people are going to be just falling apart over this.
Halo developer 343 Industries recently announced that weapon, vehicle, and player skins in Halo Infinite will be called quote-unquote quotings, and immediately people expressed concerns about microtransactions. We've now learned a bit more about how these are constructed. This is on GameSpot, also the official Xbox GameSpot, structured in the game, and whether you'll need to spend money to get new coatings. A community manager, John Jusquit, responded to fans' concerns. Writing on Twitter, he said that while Halo Infinite will have microtransactions store, it won't be the only way to get the game's customization items, which go beyond coatings. And if you guys have seen, it's like the red and silver Spartan that's been out so far. There will be all kinds of customization items, including coding that can be earned in-game and earned on special rewards. Will there be purchases? Sure. Is that the only way? Absolutely not. With the new 7-layer coding system, it appears Halo Infinite will offer many more options to players looking to create a player that is unique. Although moving away from the old color system was a tough call, it was allowed to go into greater detail and variation with armor color, materials, patterns, etc. You are going to look great in Halo Infinite, just what said. So they're changing the color system entirely That language will not exist
so
no
this
more.
this could be, see, this is one of those things where when you first look at it, it's like, oh no, you're gonna pull a tooth, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the dentist. They get all up in your face. You hear all that stuff grinding around. It tastes funny, right? It's a lot to your senses.
Yes, it's a lot. It's different. It's different. It's a whole different vibe.
You know, and then so it's not something that we look forward to. But when it's all said and done, weeks to months later, you have no pain. You can eat a freaking cheeseburger.
Yeah, finally, real talk.
I've had a bad tooth to the point where I couldn't sing. Because when you're creating, when you're singing, of course, there's vibration involved, right? So your head's vibrating, and so is that fucking tooth.
The nerves and shit.
Yeah, and it resonates to that frequency.
That shit sounds
wherever
like it
you're
hurts.
singing. No, I'm not even making this up. I'm being dead ass. Whatever you're singing to, it vibrates to that. So if it's a big low note, yeah.
I don't like that.
Shakes you like that.
Ooh.
But so this is kind of how we're shaking about the color system in Halo.
I'm not mad.
Initially, I thought it was a terrible idea, just for super lore savvy people. I don't even know how to say tertiary.
That's part of the color language in Halo. If anyone doesn't know, anybody new to the podcast,
that's the only one I know. That's the easiest one.
I can't remember. I know steel is black. I know that for a fact. Steel is black.
Eggnog and shit.
Yeah, eggnog. Yeah, I seen that.
Whatever they have there, pomegranate. All right, so 1944 shoehorn. I think that's a color.
Is that a color? That's really a color in that?
No. But it makes just as much sense as the shit they got in there. Plaque. It's yellow.
Straight yellow. Well, that's the newest update so far. And a lot of people are mad about this, and they're really showing the concerns because of microtransactions.
It could be one of those things though that
change the whole spectrum.
Maybe we've been strapped to a fucking chair the whole time.
Yeah.
And we just haven't realized that there's so many variants and opportunities to make us look different in the game, and we just haven't tapped into that.
Yes.
Which brings me to a bigger issue that's rooted to what you just mentioned. People are terrified about the silly, because they're so big on microtransactions with all the customizations. They're saying more customizations than there ever was ever before, and that's great, right? But it's not great if you're fucking broke or if you don't have time to play the game like an 11-year-old. Old pricks like me got about an hour or two. That's not a lot of time to grind.
Yeah.
So I might be that microtransactions might favor me.
Yep.
Because I'm sure all this grinding, if you guys know Halo in the past, with the requisition system, it's not like you grinded and then got what you were hoping for.
No, they gave
you just got something.
You got something. Yeah, you got something.
So they're saying you can earn stuff in game, but I know, and you know, you can't hustle a hustler.
I'm a hustler, baby.
I'm a hustler, baby. I'm a hustler, baby. I'm a hustler, babe. Like, you don't even know, man. And it's true. They were pulling a fast one on us before in Halo 5 with that. I never really was excited about, but I'm a real one. I knew I was gonna grind the game out. I knew I was gonna spam out, and at the time I just broken my arm. You know what I mean? It's probably weird because you're like, how'd you play Halo with a broken arm? Halo fixed my arm.
Shout out to 343 and Microsoft.
So all this, that's why you see me seriously defending the company.
For real.
No, but
for real.
Long story short, I broke my arm that summer, and like I couldn't do anything. Most of y'all know that I'm a guitar player, so one of the ways that I would create incentive in my mind to move my wrist around was first, the video game. I couldn't even write my name. It was so the video game was enough for me to like it so much something I could continue to keep trying to do. You know,
keep that hand.
I said when I make it to that sprint button, I was like, I know I'm healing. And so my thumb was completely immobile. I could not open my hand, so my hand was closed like this, and I lost all mobility to the parts of your hands that move it open, and I lost mobility to the part that moves your hand up like this, like a curl, and I lost the mobility to the part that moves your shoulder up like that. So this whole curling movement was gone from my arm. It could only go the other way. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when I was holding the controller, I couldn't. There was no up mechanism in my thumb, so I couldn't move from the thumbstick,
to the other one.
Right. So I said, X button's right there. I use Recon. Everybody, for y'all don't know, my play style has always been Halo 3, Recon.
Yeah, which is like the default for Halo 3, I think.
Yes, it's the only default for Halo 3.
Yeah,
but it's not the default in the other Halo games.
No,
but for 3, Recon is the default. So I still use Recon to this day. So does ICG Songbird.
Recon's lit though.
I think Kokomo does too.
That's when B is your That's when BSB was a big thing.
Yeah, my thumbsticks are like my thumbstick is crouch.
Yep.
So I have toggle crouch.
Yep. So
I have not toggle crouch. I have hold crouch. Hold to crouch.
Yep.
So every time I snap it, my little dude teabags and shit. So
that's a classic. That's
everybody
classic.
out there is like, yeah. So I don't know, where was I?
Talking about how Halo healed your arm.
So people are really nervous about because there's so much attention towards microtransactions that 343 is going to put just an array, hundreds of thousands of customizations up there. You guys remember the pizza gun? So we're going to see, we're going to see,
y'all need to take that off.
We're going to see Nerf guns. We're going to see, maybe silly stuff from other Microsoft games get into, so you might even see, unfortunately, pop culture and silly themes. There's a monster gun. There's a monster energy drink gun. There's already a monster energy drink gun. And most people, the way they feel is they don't want this shit in Halo. They want Halo guns in Halo. They want Halo lore guns in Halo. Let me know what you guys think about that whole idea. Do you like the idea of 343 involving more pop culture in their weapon skins, in their armor designs? I'm not comfortable with it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see
put it in the comments
pizza
right there.
guns and clown noses and foam fingers come to Halo?
I need a Promethean like overlay. I want like a weird my shit lights up or like ghost. I want ghost armor that lights up and stuff. I don't want.
So you want like they had like with inclement weather and shit like that.
Yeah,
armor effects.
Yeah, armor effects and I don't want a pizza gun. I'm not with that. Let my shit light up. Let me.
As far as 343 appealing to the new generation, a lot of people think new generation is into this silly stuff.
Well,
what do you think? Especially for the younger kids. They like to run around, with teddy bears and foam fingers.
Well, that's up to the company. The company can represent and grab a different, because they grabbed us as a younger generation, and they had games that had teddy bears in it at that time.
Grand Theft Auto is an adult game, and
it is.
See, it's double dipping.
Yeah, it's double dipping.
I've
yep.
seen this is I'm about to say it.
Yeah, you're double dipping if you do that. Yeah,
you make a game and you say this is the game to play, and it's cool because it's an adult game.
But
and then you take that same thing and you go, so you can naturally this game is made and it's appealed for older teens and young adults, et cetera, and then in the same breath, you make it attractive to children by throwing teddy bears and shit in it. I mean, I've kind of a bone to pick there.
Well, I think
because it makes it unfun for the people that it's intended for. I'm just making that clear.
Yeah.
I you know what I'm saying? I'm a middle-aged man. I don't want to get in there and throw teddy bears with little boys.
Yeah, I feel that. I agree with that 100%. I think
it's an adult game. I think that
I think that's the wrong way to go about it.
I'm
GTA.
not going to give a kid a pack of cigarettes.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think GTA is competing with Saints Row when they do something like that.
Kids aren't allowed to watch adult,
Entertainment.
sensitive, romantic material.
That's true. I agree. I don't think.
I mean, there's romantic topics in the game.
It's mad stuff.
And the same thing. And this goes into what I was going to say about Halo. I'm not saying that the word shit drops every now and then. I don't think that's a big deal. But there's some psychological, adult, or later teen to young adult, sensitive, psychological, and intellectual material in the video game.
Yes.
I'm just saying that.
Yes. I agree with that 100%. And I think Halo, I like the fact that Halo should.
What I'm saying is, I don't think they should have the pressure.
No, not at all.
Going all out in appealing
to younger generation. No, not at all.
To an inappropriately an unqualified demographic of consumers.
I agree 100%. And I'm glad that Halo has not had any sexual innuendos in their games. It's just been run and gun. You got a mission here, get the mission done. You know what I mean? Join the story of Master Chief, Sergeant Johnson, Cortana, the Covenant. You understand what's going on. The games like GTA try to create that real life feeling, which I think is wrong. And they're trying to compete with Saints Row. Saints Row did that, and I think Saints Row is in the wrong for that too.
The silly stuff?
Oh man, you haven't seen Saints Row?
My son.
Oh my God.
Used to play, and I used to watch him play it, and I said, "This is too silly for me." And but hold on. To his credit, he was playing that when he was 9 or 10.
Yep.
He wouldn't have any. I doubt that he'd have any interest in it. If I said,
No, not now. People.
Okay, this is his life. Okay, because here's the thing with these video games. Okay. Big Bird, they sell Big Bird over and over and over and over and over again, generationally.
Agreed.
The resellability on Big Bird is fucking huge, dude. Big Bird's a powerful dude.
Yes.
Because
Big Bird got a team.
Because he's appealed to generation of kids, and he can adapt. He learns a new hip slang. He never gets old. The guy's a fucking powerhouse. And I'm partly kidding here, but if you ask, and I'm not, but if you ask, if you ask a 2-year-old how important Big Bird is, he's super important.
Yes.
And
yes.
If I ask a 2-year-old or 4-year-old, you want to get a Bob the Builder tattoo, it's gonna be like, holy what? Lace me. Right? And then that same child will, of course, hopefully, if his parents really aren't stupid, that child will grow right into a young, healthy adult who's going to look down at their arm and be embarrassed that they got Big Bird on their back.
With his face like this.
This is what I'm saying about the future of video games. Don't fucking do it to yourself. This is why I tell people, don't follow trends.
What do you think about the rating system of the video games now? Do you think it should change? Should it be alternated? I know they had a conversation about this on another previous news report on GameSpot. They were talking about changing up certain games and certain things with the rating system, and I feel like Halo is a T for T rated game because they don't really have cuss words in it.
It's not about words.
It's not about words, but what they're displaying.
That.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that is that, and many times there is an intellectual and psychological maturity issue.
Yes. I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
The F word pales into comparison when you're trying to explain sexually transmitted diseases.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, there's
Exactly.
There's a big fucking jump there.
Exactly. And Halo doesn't talk about that.
That's confusing. No, and I'm being dramatic. I'm bringing up something.
You have to go to the extremes.
So to make my point, to drive it home. But if I had to be more realistic, that's why you see even games with blood in it rank very low as far as of how adult that can be. They don't, blood is, in video games, blood isn't a big deal.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
But I think that with even with Saints Row or with Grand Theft Auto, in comparison to something like Halo, because that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we're talking about Halo.
So I wanna draw the comparison. I think that kids are most kids. Kids are all different, and it's up to us as parents to kind of like check the temperature and see what's appropriate per child. It's like we learn that people are individuals, and we say that in a cliche world, and when it's convenient for us, we're like, we're all individuals when we need to prove a point. But hold on. But when we need to fucking remember that when maintaining relationships, when we need to remember that when talking with each other and communicating, all of a sudden when it's inconvenient, we don't want to remember that we're all individuals. And this particular time, I'm saying, hey, we're all individuals, especially the children who haven't really built that confident sense of identity that even adults don't have.
I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
There are 40-year-olds that act like 14 sometimes. And there are 14-year-olds growing up like they're 40. And I'm not saying it's right, but that's what's going on.
That's the world we live in.
One person's experience in education is maintained differently by another individual, and I think there are some kids that are very ready for a game like Grand Theft Auto. And I think that there's another group of kids who probably aren't ready for Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree 100%.
Banjo-Kazooie, tell you, not the mama in the head type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I can only tell you, once again, from the individual and raising children and being around young folks my whole life, and most of my life, I've helped, raise girlfriends' children, and in addition to my own.
Yep.
And I've seen comparisons with, people in my family's children and so on. And I've noticed that they're all very unique. And video games, if they are like video game kids, like some kids just aren't video game kids. Some kids are like, I'm gonna go look for a snake. They don't even see the game. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
Some of my adult friends are just like, the fuck, bro? Like, you still play video games? And I'm like,
yes.
I'm gonna play video games until I'm dead.
Yo,
it's one of the last things I'm probably going to do. Like, you hear people going to the hospital now, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna give me a newspaper. I'm gonna tell them to put the Xbox up.
Yeah, facts.
Obviously.
Yo, facts.
What else are you gonna do? So, and not to be completely morbid there, but the individual, children, people, us, me, you, when it's convenient, we like to point out how different we are. And then when it's inconvenient, we seem to forget that.
Yep.
But I'm here to tell you, that's complete bullshit. I'm the real thing. All the time. And,
that's real.
Seeing is believing. Just observe. I think that I wouldn't recommend Halo changing anything about the policy or how their game is presented to the community. I think it's just right for teenagers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And the difference being this. So I put Halo where I really would with Grand Theft Auto, and this is why. Is because I think at the end of the day, there's a bigger general practice and responsibility, and we don't have the time to necessarily fine tune and look at everybody under a microscope. And the difference of the two games being that one of them is like real life satire, like it's modern day, it's here, it's now. There's pistols, there's modern day guns, modern day scenarios, things that are role playing or mimicking real life scenarios.
Yes. Yep.
Which you would have in something like Grand Theft Auto, as opposed to Halo, where we're not quite yet, opening up slip space. You know what I mean? And shooting each other with green guns.
Yeah, facts.
We're not there
I
yet.
agree.
But remember, I talked about that psychological and intellectual influence that is there.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like I don't think we really like let my son play Grand Theft Auto like that until he was old enough to sneak it from us properly. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Yeah,
because
you know it's wrong.
Because if you want to play it, then you need to know the difference between right and wrong. And we kind of felt like we knew when he was playing it, but he snuck it in such a way, and he did it at a time where it was like, okay. But there would have been a time, I'm telling you, especially with young boys, there was a time when if we would have given him the game, he would have been repeating the F word a lot and just been annoying. I don't think it would have ruined his life. I don't think he would have went to prison.
No.
I don't think he would have been an alcoholic. I think he would have been fucking annoying, and he would have been in trouble a lot. But he never did.
Yeah.
And even so, by the time the kid could play the game, I think most kids are smart enough. Most kids are smart enough to know the difference between games and reality.
Yes.
I don't. My kid is.
Still is to this day.
All the time that we, when we did shit wrong, we did it on purpose.
We did it on purpose, nigga.
We knew
what.
We knew what we were doing.
So we got the covers coming, man. I mean, what they call it? They call it coatings.
I don't like the name of it.
We're ending off on coatings. I guess that's what we're ending off of. You don't like the name? I
don't like the name. I think they should, because it seems motivational.
Sly. Yeah, it seems
motivational. It seems like they can change it from one thing to another or make it disappear. I don't know.
They're going to have skins for vehicles also.
I guess I'm cool with that. I just felt like I seen Call of Duty do it first, so it kind of pissed me off. But it's been done in other games though.
Yeah, it's been done in all over games, like all
saying.
over. Coloration along with materials and patterns will now be baked into the coating, taking the place of the primary and secondary armor color options found in prior games.
Halo is such a touchy community.
They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad. I'm like, to be completely honest, guys, I can't wait for this game to come out. I'm ecstatic. I love Halo. I remember playing it for PC when CE came out. I can't wait. I don't care what they do to it. They could have released the jump they had, and I would have been on it. I don't give a. I'm not gonna bleep that out, but I'm saying I don't care. Like, I would have been with that. So I don't know, all y'all, like he said, y'all brass is complaining. I'm not complaining. Like, give me the game. Like, let me get that. Let me get that all day. This is Real Life Call-Outs. I'm Mr. Goodbarz.
I'm William Savant.
And we're heading out, guys. You guys have a great night. And we out of here, man. Peace.